Everybody is a stakeholder. Everybody, the same way the stations need our music to be playing, maybe not our specific music, but they need music. And we also need the platform. So, I'm not one who's going to condone payola, but it happening is just like, it's business at the end of the day. And the people whose music is rotating, the people who are winning Song of the Year, if you're not Maskandi, we're doing business. And it's like, okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, well, so, I think it circles back to entrepreneurship. Let your expression be your expression when it's time to express yourself, create your art. And after that, take that hat off and then put on the entrepreneur, businessman hat. Then everybody's trying to get a piece of this pie. So when you go to the labels, when you go to the radio, you're going there to shake hands, then you slip a 50 rand for your cool drink. No, I'm joking, don't do that. But just what I'm trying to suggest is that it's all business at the end of the day. And I think, man, why I got so excited and I jumped at him, he said, the hack in this whole thing as an artist entrepreneur is create value. Because when they say, and we're talking about it, Fence and I, about how I'm kidding. It's all good. It's about what does they say? Oh, when they say essential workers are the only people who can work because of lockdown, guess who's excluded from that? Artists. You know why? Because no one, and this is controversial, I guess we'll see, no one needs what we're making. No, if somebody has to choose between this song and your song that's coming out, especially if they're hungry, if somebody has to choose between rent and attending your show, so no one needs what you are selling, so you shouldn't sell it as, hey guys, here's something, we'll support it, because support means terrible business model. That's also another bit of a controversial take, but you can't sustain it because the arts, your expression, that's something that people experience in a different way. They don't really need it. But the people who were at Michael Jackson's show fainting, he was just standing there. You guys saw that video, he's just standing there and he turns his head and people start crying, fainting, people are being carried out. No one needed to be there, but they needed to be there. Because Michael Jackson created value. When he was rolling out Thriller, which is still one of the highest streamed videos, one of people's references even today, he created value. So no one needs what we're making. So let's make them want it to a point where they're fainting if they don't get it. When they, okay, I just got paid, I paid rent, I'm saving for a Panal show now because I need that in my life. So it's about creating value. You create, as an entrepreneur, you're creating something that no one knew they needed, first of all. Well, you're selling apples, Spas right down the road. How do you make people want to buy the apples from you? You create value. And I'd rather buy apples from the person who can't sell it to me because he's busy chewing it. Because now I've already sold him to how much he's enjoying it. There's value being translated as opposed to, hey, get these apples, just, support the boy. And it's like, hey, how much? 15 bucks? I got 5 rand. Yeah, because now it's support. That's wild. But if you can articulate the value, you can also say what the price is for things and not let Spotify tell you how much it is, And I'm not trying to say we must go up against maybe a streaming channel like Spotify because they also give us reach. The nice thing about the internet, it's made the world small. There's people who are showing up on your streaming stats in Berlin. In Munich, you know what I'm saying? Because of the internet. So it's about, okay, cool. What am I willing to sacrifice at this point in my career? The Drakes and the Beyoncés. Beyonce apparently is the reason we released on Friday. Because of the leverage that she had. She was like, and then people are like, okay, cool, let's rally around this as the platform because now the decision for how music is being released isn't now just being informed by people in tech. People who don't have an artistic bone in their body. Maybe they have one, but what I'm trying to say is that when the artist can now dictate, here's another example with the vinyls. And the reason, an album is called an album is because it looked like photo albums when they were releasing it. So a Beethoven symphony was, let's say, 35 minutes. A vinyl maybe takes 5 minutes aside. The reason they put it out the way it was is because the music said, I'm this long, accommodate me. Now Spotify or TikTok will say 15 seconds, or will say this. Now it's other things that are telling us what to do with our things. And I feel like when there was a time where the artists could dictate things like that, like Beyonce saying, well, not saying Friday, but Beyonce saying, I'm releasing on Friday, then the industry now rallying around speaks to the leverage that she has based on the value that she's built over years. There's Beyonce dances people do. There's people dressing like Beyonce. It's not just the music, which now goes into merchandising, multiple streams of income. And influence. influence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's culture. It's culture. That's why brands want a piece of this. You know, that's why brands want a piece of this. That's why me and this man are doing a gig every Wednesday, right, at Barber Black Sheep. It's a residency of ours, and what we've been doing it, proof of concept, we've done it, 50 weeks, we did it, and we show up every Wednesday to set it up, right? Proof of concept in corner. Now, we take this and say, hey brand, here's a finished thing. Actually, I said that we're property developers now. Because we're gonna develop this intellectual property, and we're gonna lease it out. Say, hey brand, make this thing sustainable for us. It's gonna cost you so much more to make this yourself. And we've done it. You know what I'm saying? So value, creating value.
Okay, but then that brings me to this question then. We are artists on a grassroots level if we are comparing ourselves to all these other artists that are like making it big and making ridiculous dreams. How do we then, how can we define value on our level? Because as much as we're saying, hey brand, there's Coca-Cola brands. I was drinking a Coca-Cola earlier, and Coca-Cola knows that they're being supported by a dope-ass artist like myself, and all the other artists in here. So how then can we leverage on that kind of value to say, if someone in this room saw Zana drinking a can of Coke, they would probably go buy that can because they saw Zana drink it, even though Zana's on 5K followers, you say. So how then do we create that value on a grassroots level, to say, okay, this is my audience, this is what I can do, this is the value that I have, and how can I define it on an artistic level so that it makes sense in the corporate level, where the people with the monies be doing the deals and stuff.
Yeah.